Welcome back folks, it's been a while since I talked about Stalker 2, so today we're going to go through all of the upcoming known features and changes coming to the game in 2026 and what to generally expect. It's been 1 year since the release of Stalker 2, and over the past year, developers over at GSC have been updating the game every few months with big patches because, well, it did release with issues, primarily with A-Live 2.0 problems or not being present that much, being that A-Live is sort of the core of Stalker experience where the zone feels alive and active, regardless if you are in it or not, is an important aspect. Ultimately, that is the reason why each encounter in previous Stalker games can feel unique because you don't know what group of stalkers went by and what monsters and mutants decided to populate and migrate to that area. As of right now, elements of A-Live 2.0 are in the game, so the code does simulate those changes, but they still don't feel that authentic in my opinion. And as I showed in my previous patch review videos, there are still situations where NPCs and mutants spawn in front of me for no reason, or that each encounter, at least for me, is the same. Meaning I hear a mutant, then stalkers spawn in, then those stalkers kill the mutants as they are incredibly precise and have no issues taking down even bloodsuckers. Not a huge fan of that. So one of the primary goals for GSC is to optimize A-Live and add more features in it, which has been mentioned in their updates and roadmap. So technically each update will be, adding a part of it, and I don't expect it to be fully done probably until Stalker 2.0. It is getting better, that's for sure. Prior to these updates, even that wasn't happening, but I feel like there are still bugs within it that need to be ironed out so that the experience is a lot, better. Especially when it comes to bloodsuckers, because they have been everywhere in this game and they have been sort of multiplying where you get, attacked by 2 or 3 of them, which is not enjoyable. Now, of course, after all of these updates, I do see more variety with mutants I encounter throughout the zone, and some tend to repeat themselves, but that's fine, as the zone is populated and locations won't be empty all the time, so it's sort of a compromise for now. Some aspects of faction warfare have been added, so NPCs do technically capture a position and hold it until someone else attacks, but I haven't seen full-blown attacks on it yet in my playthrough. This is also something that GSC will be going into in 2026 per their plans, and I still do have people just spawning in bases after I explore them or clean them out from a certain faction or mutants, like instantly spawn in. I'm not a fan of that. So these things are definitely, getting ironed out because that's sort of what the experience of Stalker 2 can be. Now, of course, Stalker games have always had bugs and glitches. That's sort of what made them unique and interesting and something people were memeing about, but I still feel like these things, of course, can be streamlined to be better and ultimately more enjoyable for the game. Another huge update to Stalker 2 will be an upgrade to Unreal Engine 5, or well, specifically the version they're gonna be updating to is the 5.5.4 version. Because, well, the version or the fork of UE5 engine they used during development is one of the early ones, hence bugs and bad performance. Because when UE5 released, and yes, it does have its pluses, but as any piece of big software that is made up from many parts and services as engines tend to be, is going to be problematic. So GSC is aiming to improve frame rate and general performance with it, so not just you can get more frames, but it also allows, developers to add other things within the game, more content, without stressing the streaming of that engine all that much, and ultimately you get a better performance. The new version of UE5 also improves Lumen, which GSC has been using extensively in the game, and usually that's one of the features that can tank frame rate if you don't use it correctly or you use it for everything, hence getting weird brightness changes indoors and outdoors, which has been minimized with the latest update, but it still sort of happens and it can be sort of awkward. Don't expect this to happen soon though, they have been working on it for a while, but upgrading the engine version is a tiring job, and even though Epic probably made transition a bit easier, but it's not as easy as just updating with a button and calling it a day. And I also doubt GSC would be doing this if it wasn't a substantial upgrade. Some games which did that in the past reported a big uptick in frame rate, but let's wait and see what happens. I mean, I'm hoping for the best. Next up we have another huge content piece coming to the game as a DLC, and that's the CNPP, or well, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, because I know some were surprised, but it's not really a part of the base Stalker 2 game. I was also really disappointed when I learned that during my first playthrough, and being an iconic place where, you know, all of the troubles started, going back to that complex again will be great. They posted a teaser a while back, which is just the scene from that area. Looks good in my opinion. I do wonder what sort of stories will be there and how is it going to be tied, if at all tied, to the stuff which happens within the main story and, you know, without me spoiling that stuff. So location wise, this is sort of the area we're going to be getting, so think the main plant, supporting buildings, and well, the general perimeter around it. It should be relatively big enough to explore, obviously not too big, but again, you know, I think the location itself will have a lot of content within it. They have a lot of stuff planned content-wise. We know that from the initial pre-orders because, well, if you bought more expensive versions, you also get free DLCs, or well, access to those DLCs. But the reason you haven't seen them yet is, well, fixing the core game first. Just like CDPR did with Cyberpunk, there would be no way for Phantom Liberty to be added and to be properly running without them fixing the core code. Speaking of cores, I hope we run into some nice Easter eggs in CNPP, especially seeing the changes that happen to it, maybe more overgrown areas or something similar, as Stalker 2's story takes place after all the previous games. In their New Year's message, GSC does repeat again that DLC and engine upgrade is their priority for at least the first part of 2026. I would love also to see some smaller changes, like having the ability to choose how much I want to sleep in the game, as that was, you know, a feature before. Right now it's just pretty much press F to sleep and it fast forwards time. I don't like it, and hopefully they bring back the original mechanic we had in, well, previous Stalker games. But in general, developers have been listening to people, some of the general feedback you have seen, you know, plus stuff being added to the game. And we do have night vision now, we do have mutant loot, you know, it's a big plus, you know, these things, you know, have been requested by the community. They seem to be sort of like what made the previous game so good, so GSC has been listening. Personally, I am happy that they keep updating the game. A while back they said that their goal is to turn this into what they really wanted this experience to be, so, you know, right now they're good on that. Now, for everyone who is asking if they should play the game now, honestly I don't mind it right now, but wait for the engine upgrade. I feel like if that goes well, it will be a good time to either play it for the first time, or maybe you played it in the first week and haven't touched it since. And also because I would say majority of the issues within the main missions, especially in the second part of the game, which, you know, some things happen, tends to be even a more buggy experience than the first part of the game. Well, these things have been getting solved, so personally as I've been testing it, I'm not getting nearly as many bugs as before, and most of the game breaking stuff like people blocking doors have been minimized to this point. As always, as soon as more info is out or a patch, I will make a video about it. And big thanks to all of the support and love these Stalkers videos have been receiving. I love working on these videos, I love Stalker in general, so it's really fun to cover this. So that's it for today. Let me know down below what do you think about Stalker 2 so far, and what are you looking forward to. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing, and join our community on Discord and Twitter. This is LKM signing out, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye bye.